Narcissism isn't just arrogance. It's a lack of empathy, a need for admiration, and a tendency to manipulate others for personal gain. This video will answer the central question: how does a narcissist so quickly take control over a person, often leaving them confused, powerless, and self-doubting? Narcissists have a range of tactics that they can use to control people, and these often work at a rapid pace. Each point I cover will define the tactic, how it works, and most importantly, why it works so fast. Let's start where most narcissistic relationships start, with love bombing. This can also be called idealization, as this is not just happening with romantic relationships, friendships, family, those things as well. Love bombing at the start is when the narcissist showers the person with excessive attention, all kinds of praise, affection, and flattery. And this is often overwhelming and can make a person feel really special and unique. So how does this really work? Well, it creates the emotional high, and it reinforces a person's belief that they have found somebody exceptional. For a lot of people, we think that we just found the next best thing since sliced bread. And this makes it easier for the narcissist to manipulate us later on down the road. Why love bombing works so quickly? Love bombing is incredibly intense. It's a rapid bonding experience. The person, whoever this is happening to, is just often swept off their feet before they can even recognize any of the red flags. That's why love bombing is done in the first place. A narcissist knows they have to get a person hooked as quickly as possible before the mask falls off and the real person is revealed. Another tactic is gaslighting, classic deception and denial when it comes to talking about a narcissist. A narcissist will, either in a subtle way or more overtly, manipulate someone's perception of reality. They may deny facts or distort events. They're going to create their own little narrative. And while they're spinning their own little web of lies and telling their story, they'll accuse the person of being too sensitive, mentally ill, crazy, overreacting, when anyone tries to point out any red flags. So how this works. What gaslighting does is it undermines a person's confidence in their own thoughts and feelings. This also makes people more dependent on the narcissist for validation. So why does gaslighting work so quickly? Well, it makes a person question their own perception of events. This erodes our trust in ourselves and other people, our own judgment, and it speeds up the control process. Narcissists can also use isolation, of course. They often work to isolate people from their friends, family, and other support networks. They might, again, in a subtle way, undermine certain relationships or create conflict. They might start talking smack about people or tell you that this person in your family or one of your friends is talking badly about you to create some tension, to create some drama. So how isolation works and why it works is because, of course, people who are isolated become more dependent on the narcissist. Why this works so fast is because once a person's support system is kind of stripped away, they really have no choice but to be more reliant on the narcissist for affirmation. Add in some gaslighting on top of some love bombing, it is again accelerating the control process. Another really fast-acting tactic used by narcs is mirroring. The narcissist can mimic or reflect your emotions, interests, or desires right back at you, and it makes you feel deeply understood and connected. It can make you feel like you've even known this person longer than you really have, as what you're kind of doing here is falling in love or becoming friends with, again, whatever the relationship is, but you're falling in love with yourself, essentially. The narcissist gives an illusion of being exactly what you want, creating a sense of intimacy and a bond very quickly. That's how it works, and it works fast because the connection feels instant. Because obviously it's based on a highly manipulative form of validation. You feel understood and you feel safe, so to speak, with someone who really gets you. But of course, it's a facade. Narcs can also create a false sense of dependency. Narcs create solutions where you feel like you need the narcissist for emotional support or guidance, or you need them just to feel okay. They're creating that dependency. You need them. And over time, how this works is you might start to feel like you're doubting your own abilities. And so before you know it, you are now seeking out constant validation or reassurance from the narcissist. And this happens so quickly because when a narcissist can make someone feel emotionally dependent, they're able to control that person's decisions. And it happens so fast. If you're struggling with the impact of narcissistic abuse, traditional in-person therapy isn't the only option for you anymore. With nearly 6 years here on YouTube, dedicating my life to studying narcissism, I offer a flexible phone chat service. As a fellow survivor, you'll be talking to somebody who truly understands narcissism, not only from my years of studying it, but surviving it as well. In a relaxed setting, conversations feel more like chatting as friends and not a stiff, formal, cold therapy session. I can share practical strategies and tips tailored to whatever it is you're going through if you feel you need more than just a survivor's listening ear. If you're curious, you can reach out anytime. My contact information is on the screen for you now, and I look forward to connecting with you. Narcissists moving so quickly can have a huge psychological impact on people, and I think we should talk about that and some of the issues that come up really as a result of this fast-moving narcissist. Of course, there's cognitive dissonance, where you feel confused because the narcissist is so charming and loving and caring one minute and manipulative and cruel the next. It leads to cognitive dissonance, where the victim tries to basically reconcile these conflicting behaviors. It can also begin to form the trauma bond, where you feel the push and the pull of the narcissist as they're running hot and cold with you. This leads to things like self-doubt and really just erosion of our overall self-worth. As I'm sure everyone knows, your self-esteem is just destroyed. The combination of gaslighting, love bombing, and emotional manipulation can lead you to really question reality and lose confidence in your own judgment. And it creates the dependency. I mentioned trauma bonding a moment ago, more like a second ago, but it's the emotional attachment that forms between us and someone narcissistic due to the whole cycle that we go through, the love bombing, the devaluation, and the discard. The unpredictability of love and cruelty causes it. You know things can be so great. Even though they're bad in the moment, you know how good it can be. So if you're trauma bonded, you're addicted to the person and willing to wait through the bad because you know how good it can be. You're remembering and holding on to the love bombing. And this psychological impact can happen very quickly, just like how they get control. Psychological manipulation is just what it is. Narcs are skilled at reading people and can adjust their behavior accordingly to fit whatever target really they're looking for. They know how to make somebody feel valued and understood and gradually shift their behavior as they're building power and taking control. And the power of emotional validation is huge. Humans are wired for emotional connection. We don't do good solo. We're pack animals. Narcissists will exploit this. They're providing that instant rush, that instant gratification of affection and validation, making it feel like the connection, like I said a moment ago, is deeper than it really is. And we have that narcissistic lack of empathy. Narcs don't have the usual emotional boundaries. They can engage in intense emotional manipulation without feeling guilt or hesitation. And that actually allows them to move more quickly in the relationship because it's fake. They're not really emotionally investing. Breaking free from a narcissist is absolutely possible. Recognizing manipulation is one of the first steps. Setting boundaries is also huge, and working with a professional if you feel like you need to. Rebuilding self-esteem can make you feel better and more prepared for another run-in with a narcissist because these people aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So share down in the comments which point you think is the fastest way that a narc ends up gaining control over a person in a relationship. Empowerment through awareness is a key step to healing ourselves and helping others to break free. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.